Spoiler alert, Slash's Paradise encourages viewers to watch these horror films before listening to our show. Danny and Lance will go through everything, including filmmaking, dialogue, characters, and even full scene breakdowns when we get excited. Enjoy the show.
Anyway, listen. All right, and it came right out of the sky. Okay, and there it was. This flying saucer. You know, these weird lights, making these weird noises, kind of like boop, 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 boop.
Welcome to Slash's Paradise, Danny. We are live.
Oh, God. I was telling the story. It happened. It really happened, okay? Okay, fine. I'm not going to tell any more stories.
All right, Ozzy. Today we are talking about, Danny, you've done it. You've brought to our Thunderdome a film that I had no interest in talking about ever. I never wanted to rewatch this film.
I am so accomplished. There have been a few levels of accomplishment in my life, Lance. When I, got engaged, when I won my first acting award when I was in middle school, when I booked my first commercial, when I was over 6 feet for the first day. I remember that day. It was a good day. And when I brought Leprechaun to the Slasher's Paradise.
We are talking about Leprechaun today.
You get it, guys, right? Because it's March, and it's St. Patrick's Day, and it's the luck of the Irish, and a leprechaun of the lore, of the folklore, right, of fantasy world. It's like leprechauns and unicorns and rainbows. Wait, I think it's pots of gold and rainbows and a red balloon, something like that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, right. Lucky Charms. Hey, you all know the guy.
Oh, man.
Maybe I had Lucky Charms. I'm very hyper. I'm very excited.
You are very excited. I am obviously hesitant on this one.
I will bring you up, Lance. I will bring you with me on this magical rainbow ride. Huh?
Okay.
All right, man.
All right, I'm ready. Danny, let's just get started.
Okay,
let's head into our pumpkin spice latte with a little bit of Bailey's on this one.
I like it. Leprechaun basically is about a movie about a leprechaun who has been caught and then had his gold stolen by Dan O'Grady, who then comes back to his homestead in North Dakota, where the leprechaun has followed him because he's not following the rules and wants to reclaim his gold from the O'Gradys, and goes on a murderous rampage, who then will stop at nothing to reclaim his gold from anyone who has it, and he wants his gold. That's what he says. I want me gold. Give him his gold, and he will go away. Leprechaun, the murderous version. Ta-da.
We are introducing a new game to Slash's Paradise tonight. It's called Slash Word. Danny, tell them how it works.
Basically, Slash Word is a version of Password, but with a horror twist. So if you hear at any point in time in the episode us say the slash word, take a drink of your favorite beverage, whether it be water or anything in between.
Yes, please stay hydrated. Fill your tiki cups with whatever you want to fill it with, and be safe while doing that. For tonight, the slash word is going to be brought to you by a special caller. And we're not going to hear this. Only you are going to hear this. Only the listeners and the viewers will hear or see whatever the slash word is.
That's correct.
But calling in today is Leprechaun. So Leprechaun, give us our slash word of the night.
The slash word is Clover.
All right. So thank you, Leprechaun. With that, everyone fill your tiki cups, and we are going to continue on with our show.
I really wish I could have heard that. I love Leprechaun.
Me too. Here's the breakdown of the film. It was released on January 8th, 1993. Did you know that it was filmed in October of 91, Danny?
I did not know that.
So it took quite a while to actually come out. It was directed by and written by Mark Jones. The budget for the film, $900,000.
Oh my gosh.
Under $1 million. Our box office was $8.6 million. Not bad.
Made some money.
I think it made it up to $15 million afterwards with DVD sales and all that kind of stuff. And also off the success of one of its premier stars. Death count for this film was 4.
4 deaths.
Very, very small death count. The movie stars Warwick Davis from Willow, Star Wars, and many, many other films.
Many.
Debuting the lovely, the gorgeous, the Greek, Jennifer Aniston.
She's Greek.
Yes.
I didn't know
She's
she's
the
Greek.
daughter of John Aniston from Days of Our Lives, which,
Wow.
yeah, there's your fact of the day.
Oh, that is
Also starring Mark Holton from Teen Wolf.
yes, chubby.
Yes. Robert High Gorman, the kid from Don't Tell
Clark.
Mom the Babysitter's
Clark from
Dead.
freaking Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which also had Daniel Harris in it. Just
It's
had
all
to mention that.
connected.
Everything's connected. And then Kean Olandt. He was from Summer School, and he's also from April Fool's Day.
Oh,
So,
Nathan?
yes,
Nathan? Yo.
the guy who plays Nathan. Yes.
Nathan Arms.
So that is the breakdown for this film. The film starts with just a leprechaun sitting on the stairs counting his gold.
I'm not going to do this with you the entire episode. I will not sit here and have you smear the good name of Warwick Davis and his awesome performance. The leprechaun is not on stairs. He is probably in his basement, you know?
His basement?
Yes, he has a basement.
Okay.
I don't know. He's in the there's castles. Yes, the movie opens with him walking down. He's got powers because he closes the door. First of all, that shit scared the shit out of me as a kid. I will tell you, this movie, I think 93 is right at the pinnacle of the home box, right? The direct to movie, the direct to video.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
that's where I saw it. Personally, I mean, let me take you guys back real quick. Okay. It's Friday night and the moon is out. I want to head on over to the Twist and Shout. Actually, that's Saturday night. No. Imagine you're in school, okay? And it's Friday and you're out of school. Okay. Got the weekend. And then, okay, I'll just tell you what it was for me. My mom would pick me up from school and my brother too. And then she says, hey guys, what do you say for tonight? We do pizza. And, cause it was like the end of the 6 weeks and I got A's and so did my brother. We got A's cause we were smart up into when we could not care anymore. And, he's like, we get pizza. We'll go to, and at that time, Blockbuster wasn't there yet.
No, same in my town.
It was all hit video for us.
Ours was Midtown Video because it was literally in the middle of the town.
Ah,
So it was Midtown Video.
well, my video store apparently was very misleading because they weren't all hits, except this one was a hit. Come on,
I don't
man.
think so.
So my brother and I, real quick, you go to the horror section as a kid, and some of the box art scares the shit out of you, right?
Yeah.
976 Evil, he's like, he's coming at, it's like a goblin face, and he's kind of like coming at you, right? Remember Dolly Dearest? She looks creepy.
Yeah.
But Leprechaun, it's just him peeking out of, it's just a black pretty much background and or whole thing, and it's just a sliver of him poking out of a door that's just like white glow coming out of it, and it's his face, and it's just like it's not a pretty looking leprechaun, man, right?
It's not pretty. No.
It's not Lucky Charms.
It's not Lucky Charms, which is what he was based on, actually. The writer actually wrote this based on a commercial from Lucky Charms.
But did he always intend for him to look as creepy as he did?
No, actually, they did a few makeup tests, and there's quite a few adjustments made to this film. Originally, it's supposed to be a lot darker, a little more serious, and it was actually Warwick who came in and said, let's make this more comedic.
Well, okay, look.
And talked the writer and director into making it more of a comedy horror film.
That's awesome because, yes, at the time, this movie is scaring me when I'm that age watching it because it's creepy. And even though he's got his little red tights,
they're pink, Danny. They're pink.
Little red tights, and he's got his green jacket and his top hat. And just so you all know, this movie obviously bore a crazy franchise of Leprechaun. I think there's up to 7 now.
7 or 8.
There's 8. Yeah, 8, and then maybe 9 with the latest.
What's the latest called?
Mm-hmm.
I know that he goes to space. I know that he goes
4.
to the hood twice.
That's 5 and 6.
And then
there's an Origins.
There's Origins, and then there's the Return.
That's it. 8. So
there's 8. Yeah.
The Return was based as a direct sequel from this one, apparently.
Oh, it is? Of course. That's what everyone's doing now. Like,
I know.
You can't do a reboot. You can't do a remake. You do a sequel from the original, even though you have an entire franchise. But anyway, I digress.
We're not going to get into that because we already did. Check out Halloween 2018 episode. But anyway. So yeah, we're in the video store, man, and just go to the video store with me, dude.
Those are good.
You got the popcorn smell as you walk in because they had fresh popcorn. Always the king size candies. You can see them. Y'all can see them. And then all the sections, right? Your mom would go to new releases, or your dad, or whoever took you. If my uncle would take me, we'd all just go straight to the horror section and just look around. And it was just the box art. That was an art form, obviously, but that's a completely different category, separate from the movie. Quite honestly, people remember posters a lot more than they do the movie sometimes. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And what I loved, because we had Midtown Video, which is like the only video store in town before we got Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. But what Midtown would do, and I'm sure a lot of the small town ones, they would make sure that all the box art was shown. Mm-hmm. I remember Hollywood, it was all filed. You had to like go look like it was a book. You know what I mean? Like that's not fun. The fun part was looking at the cover art, and you just took me back to like the greatest memories, man. Sometimes you just go and walk around. You never even get anything. You just want to look at the art and read the back and see the art on the back. Which is always a clip of the movie kind of a thing. And you're taking me back on that.
So. There were pictures in the back of the movie, the back of the VHS cover that didn't even come. Like you never remember Halloween 5. He's posed up against the chimney, and you never see that shot in the movie. I think Halloween 4 even has the one where he's in that like magenta background, or it's like in the in the smoke.
The mirrors, right? Or the
mirrors. The mirrors. Anyway, this one had just the leprechaun in the front. Flash forward to Jennifer Aniston getting so awesome popular.
Yes.
Now she's on the cover as well. So if you ever see the cover, like on iTunes or whatever, she's, imposed with a green hue over her in the bottom, of course, because she's Jennifer Aniston and she's in the movie. But she's awesome in this movie.
She's awesome. And apparently nobody wanted her to be a part of this except for the writer and director, Mark Jones. He fought for Jennifer Aniston to be a part of this.
So this is introducing Jennifer Aniston.
This is her debut film. She had done TV. She has said before, and this is like kind of a controversy because even Warwick has gotten on her about this, but she has said, the beginning part of her career is a little embarrassing, and everyone tagged this movie as a part of it. But she has come out and said, like, it was a response to Warwick, like, that was my first success film. Like, this movie was extremely successful by the means of less than $1 million budget, and you made over $8 million plus with DVDs and everything, and sparked a franchise. So,
I mean, it must have been a lot of money back then, right? 93. That's still a lot of money.
It is, but I mean, by today's standards and how much it made and what the movie is, it's a horror film. This was Mark Jones, right? I keep saying his name.
Don't say Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones.
Anyway, this was his debut film. This was one of those things like he wanted to get away from TV. He saw this as his opportunity, so he kind of wrote this thing. It was also based on a comic book. I don't know if you know that. I think it was like 9 issues. But it's based on a leprechaun going and looking for his gold, sort of a thing. So,
leprechauns, Irish. Do you have any Irish blood?
Little,
yeah,
a little bit.
I don't. I'm jealous, man. I might have 1%. You know how it is, like when you do the DNA test, right? And it's always like there's always like 1%. So it's like when St. Patty's Day comes around, man, St. Patrick's Day, I lose it. I love it. I love this stuff. I don't know why. I just have maybe in a past life, I was a Celtic warrior. Maybe I was Seamus,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm so drawn to this, to the culture and the celebration of around this holiday and these people and this life. I mean, yes, it is making, it's like, when I think if you do like La Llorona for like Mexican culture and stuff like that, it's like, yes, or El Cucuy or something like that. Yeah, Leprechaun is like that. But it was always kind of jovially, it's like a little, catch him and you get his gold, right? You know, and there's a unicorn and stuff. This time, catch him, you get his gold, then he'll fucking kill you for taking his gold. I'm telling you, he's so mad. He is so mad that Dan O'Grady took his gold. He's so fucking pissed. And he even says, there's a line, and this one is for the people out there whose favorite Stephen King adaptation movie is Storm of the Century. There's one point in the movie where he gets captured and put in a crate, and he's kind of just like trying to bargain his way out of being, you know, messed with any further. He says, if you give me what I want, I'll go away. That's from Storm of the Century. So for those of you out there that like Storm of the Century, that's for you.
There's some points, Danny. You got some points.
What?
I just, what you just mentioned actually is probably where I want to go with this. The culture part of it isn't really here. It's an Americanized version of a leprechaun.
Yes.
You take something, some part of folklore, you throw it into the horror element. I feel like
Lance, if I can sit through, damn it, I'm blanking on her name. La Llorona, what's her name? She was in it, and she's not in it. She's the lead, and she's not Mexican. Like,
oh well,
you know what I'm saying? Is just like, you know, there are some things that you just like you get just punch in the face. So it's like maybe this started my desensitization. I'm so American about it, right? But you're right. Continue, please. I didn't want to step on.
That's fine. I mean, we've talked about the difference in the way of horror fandom that we are. I love slashers. I love more of a serious take. It took me a while to get more into the fantasy stuff or the super gore or the creature feature kind of stuff. This one always just seemed funny to me. Like, even as a little kid, I was kind of like, not my thing. But watching it this time, Danny, you forced it upon me to watch it as an adult. So we came back around to it. The first half of this movie, it's not until like the last 20 minutes. I will say the last 20 minutes are great. It's where this movie finds its identity. It's comical. It's got tons of momentum. There's great horror, gore, everything going on. The characters kind of come together. The first chunk of the movie is where I feel like you didn't quite know your identity, because you came into this thinking it was going to be a more serious horror film. Then one of your actors is the one that kind of said like, hey, let's make it more of a comedy. So there's this kind of odd jumble. There's some great acting. I mean, there is for us, this is like an all-star cast. You know what I mean? We got the gorgeous Jennifer Aniston in it. We got your boy from Teen Wolf in there.
Damn right, my boy.
You're playing Ozzy. Just a jumble of characters. I feel like there's some interesting choices on this. I feel like they just kind of went their own way because the direction was all over until the very end.
So admittedly, your experience with Leprechaun is you watched it at a young age and it wasn't for you and you just never watched it again.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, in the beginning, wow, I just started telling this story and I'm already getting like, you know, emotional about it.
Oh, okay. He's got the tears.
No, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not going to cry. But let me just say, in the beginning of the horror, okay, so my brother's older than me. He's about a year older, right? And he's my big brother. He took care of me. In the beginning of my horrorness, my brother was there. You know, he would watch the scary movies with me. As a matter of fact, he would also like, you know, his favorite. My favorite is Michael. His favorite is Freddy.
Yeah, okay.
He loves Freddy, right? So in the beginning, we used to watch them all together. And there was a certain horror movie that my brother can watch. And this is one of them, right? Because it's a little jokey, right? I mean, okay, it's jokey. It's funny as hell. Because there are moments in there that like Henry and I quote to this day.
Yeah. In
moments we're just like having a conversation and, let's just say that because there's a line in there where Dan O'Grady is hanging upside down and he's just like, it's too late for that now. Right. And my brother and I have done that in a conversation along with a multitude of anything. So we're watching these movies. He is dying laughing, and he'll watch the Halloweens with me. He's watching the Freddys with me. He's watching the Jasons, Chucky's. As a matter of fact, one time we got into trouble with my dad. We had Child's Play 3 on VHS. Have I said this story already?
I don't think so.
I think I told somebody. Anyway, the story is we had Child's Play 3 on VHS, and my parents were going to, we were already a little older, so my parents were going to go like maybe get food or something, and we were just like watching Child's Play 3. And my dad was like, in Spanish, sometimes it's, it hurts more, or it's like, it stings more.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, take that out. I don't want to see that, watching that shit anymore, right? And my brother was like, it's okay, fine, whatever. And I just go by his lead. He's the older one, right? And I got to go by his lead. And plus, I'm like a little chunky kid, so it's funny. And my brother was like, it's fine. And Dad's like, I'm serious. If you do not get rid of that movie, I'm going to come back. I'm going to break it. So he comes back, and we're still watching it. Child's Play 3, we're watching it. Right? And he freaking throws it in the trash, right? Because, hey, that's what he told us.
Yeah.
They went all the way to Whataburger, and we could have done a lot in that time. No, we wanted to be little jerks and continue watching the movie, right? My brother doesn't even, he just goes like this. Little shit, right? He's like, fine, right? The cover or the case is ruined, right? We can't watch it anymore. My brother... yes. With the screwdriver undoes the VHS, yes. Takes the spools out, puts it in another thing that's like recording of Days of Our Lives or something, right? That was a random VHS, and he puts it away, and he just went like this. We're good. And we had it, just little things. But Henry doesn't watch really the horror, like he's not horror movies anymore, because like there are some that really, really scare him, i.e. The Exorcist. He just does not will not watch it.
I get it.
We were brought up raised in a Catholic home. But anyway, the point of the whole story is that this takes me back to a moment in time where we would watch this movie over and over in every type of VHS player. You had the one hooked up to the TV. You had the TV with the VHS player built in. Remember that?
Yes, I do. I had one.
Oh man. So yeah,
good times.
I have a love relationship with this movie, and it is my St. Patrick's Day horror movie to watch. Yes, I know it's so shitty of a thing to associate with the culture of the Irish people. I get it. I'm sorry, but I want to watch a horror movie that is dealing with. This around March.
For the most part, we've done nothing but talk about holidays and holiday films and all this. So yeah, it's kind of got to be a part of the rotation. There's not anything else that I know of that's out there, really. Is there?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, you had mentioned, that Henry likes Freddy, right? I think Leprechaun kind of reminds me of Freddy the most of any of the classic slashers or horror film gods.
Because at this point, Freddy's obviously established. 84 is, at this point, I think they're like at 5. And no, Freddy's about to die. Yeah, they're at 5. I think Freddy's dead is around this time.
Yeah.
Part 6.
So while I'm watching him, I'm thinking about Freddy the whole time. He's comical. He's ugly. I just don't find him terrifying at all because it's so comical. So I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
There is a scene where a police officer pulls him over. First of all, I say first of all a lot. Leprechaun has hijacked a toy car because he killed a shop owner. Okay, let's all go back real quick. His pot of gold, or his bag of gold, right? Dan O'Grady has it in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
He hides it, and Leprechaun kills Dan's wife and does this throws his voice in, can imitate. He's magical, right? He can imitate voices and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So Dan O'Grady is going to get him, right? He's going to get him. Like, he's like, you killed my wife. Hello, Dan. I just got a little crink in my neck. Okay, fuck that. How terrifying is that? Your wife is dead, and a little leprechaun has her dead body head, and he's just moving it and mimicking her voice. Do you know what I would do to that leprechaun?
What would you do, Danny?
I would get him, right? I would shoot him with a gun. Then I would throw him in a crate. Then I would put the crate lid over it. Then I would put a 4-leaf clover on top of the crates, because the power of the clover will keep you locked in there forever. Get that goddamn clover off this crate. Oh my God, dude. How can you not have a great time with this movie?
Oh God, yeah. So it's revealed that the power over the leprechaun is the four-leaf clover.
The very rare four-leaf clover, as we all
Right,
know,
right.
four-leaf clovers are not. They're pretty much they're pretty much threes. There's not a lot
right.
of
Yeah,
fours.
always 3 leaves. Even this one that
Have
we
you ever
have.
seen a four-leaf clover?
Not really. Okay, so back in school we had clovers in our little schoolyard or whatever, and we'd always fake it. So we'd peel 2 off and then wrap the stem around like, look, a 4-leaf clover. No, I never found a real one, but
Man,
you're
dicey, man.
We used to fake people out. Yeah,
that's cool. No, I think I've seen a real four-leaf clover. I think. But I personally have never picked one, but yes, the power of the four-leaf, the power of the clover will keep you locked in there forever. Right. So Dan O'Grady sees his wife dead. Oh shit. Gotta deal with this leprechaun who has found it. He hid himself in luggage. He hid himself in luggage and traveled from Ireland where Dan was over there because he was going to get his mother's ashes. And Dan, while he was Dan O'Grady. Hey, I'm going to go to Ireland real quick because I got to, get my mother's ashes because my mother just passed away. While I'm here, though, I'm just going to take in the local sites. I'm going to go find a leprechaun, steal his gold. So he does. But the leprechaun is so pissed because the rule is he caught him. He has to give him his gold. Yeah. Those are the rules. That's what he says. The leprechaun's like, fuck the rules. Fuck you. I want my gold back and I'm going to do all my evilness to get it back. So yeah, man, this movie is dealing with some heavy issues. It's got greed, right? And greed and some more stuff. But so blah blah blah. He puts him in the crate because he shoots him and that like knocks Leprechaun out. Puts him in the crate, puts the clover over it. He can't get out. And Dan is going to burn his ass. He's going to burn him alive. But Leprechaun has woken up in the crate, and it's a voiceover. Warwick Davis is doing an amazing job. Just talking all the shit. Can you imagine? Like, he'd be the worst guy to play one-on-one basketball with because you'd be killing him, right? Dunking on him, but he would just be digging you all the time. He's
he's that guy. Like, you can shoot a 3-pointer in his face. It's still like, I got you.
Yeah, he's like, come on.
Yeah,
where you at? Where
is that
you at?
all you got?
I'm like, shit.
Oh, you got lucky. Yeah.
He is just all right.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's just talking shit to Dan the whole time, and the actor who plays Dan O'Grady, he's sweating and stuff, and he's an older man, and he's like hammering the nails so he can, extra lock him in. He's going to burn him alive, and he's pouring the gas, and no, not gasoline. You can't burn me. I won't let you. His laugh, though, is really good. Anyway, Dan's about to light the match. Burn in hell, you little green bastard. Yeah, because his voice kind of goes, and then he has a stroke. Doesn't burn Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Fast forward 10 years later.
Well, first, you say it's terrifying, but if the character that's getting chased by the leprechaun doesn't sell me on it being terrified, he sees his wife. Oh no. He just doesn't sell it for me, so I'm not terrified. I'm not talking about sense.
that. I know you said it's not terrifying. I was setting up the moment that is terrifying. It's the cop, man.
It's okay.
The cop. Okay, so blah blah blah. Fast forward. Ozzy and Alex find the pot of gold. Ooh, when Ozzy, okay, I'm gonna go back to Ozzy here in a minute. But when Ozzy and them and Alex find the gold, they're going to take it into town to get it appraised, basically. And they leave it with a shop owner, right? They leave a coin. And he's like, let me, overnight and study it. The shop owner is about to put it in his safe. He's by himself. He's kind of, and it's very terrifying. It's very terrifying. And Leprechaun pops out of the fucking safe and he kills this shop owner, reclaiming his coin. And he pogo sticks the shop owner to death. You all been on a pogo stick? Me, I personally have only been able to hop twice before eating it each time on a pogo stick.
Those things are dangerous.
Yes, they are.
They're extremely dangerous.
Because when a leprechaun gets a hold of a pogo stick, stop it. When a leprechaun gets a hold of a pogo stick, he will play pogo on this shop owner's lungs, as he said. He does it in a rhyme and just destroys him. Okay, fast. Now I'm back where I started. He takes a Power Wheels car because he has to get around.
It's like a truck or
right? It's like a lowrider. It's like a El Camino.
Yes, it is an El Camino.
So he's just driving it around, but because he's magical, he can make these little cars go very fast, right? So he's making this car. He's on the highway. He's on the 10, just fucking. He's just hauling it. And a cop is just like, or a deputy, and he's just, drinking his coffee and stuff. And he just sees him, come on, dude.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he stops the leprechaun and he like messes with him. And he's like, don't you think you're a little young to be out so late? No, I'm 6,000 years old. So he thinks he's a kid. He's messing with him. The scene, and that's all I'll say. This is where I'm done. The scene of the leprechaun following the deputy into the woods, jumping on him, putting his hat down as a decoy. I mean, that deputy looks terrified, dude. And what does he do? He drop bears him, he like koala falls onto the deputy and breaks his neck. The whole time it is very scary. So I don't care what you say.
Yeah. What? I can't even dive into this. It's so ridiculous. I can't defend it being scary or terrifying in any way. I think it's mostly because of the surrounding actors, like the cop, just like, oh, take the mask off, kid. What are you doing out here? Like, he's got a souped up toy El Camino. Are you kidding me?
Up. It is very souped up. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, and he's got toys or shit in the back. Like, come on, man. You cannot take this seriously. But it's like, again, the acting is so, I want to say bad. It's in the world of Are You Afraid of the Dark to me, which I love. Are You Afraid of the Dark? But it's made for kids. So the acting to me is in that world. That
might make sense, actually. I think it does make sense because I, as a kid, and my brother as kids, we were watching it.
That's true. And one thing that they had to remember, I talked about the adjustments of the film, is they had to go back and refilm most of the kills because they wanted to add gore so it was more appealing to adults. So again, that jumble that I'm talking about of like the kills are gory to an extent. And actually, I will say they are pretty gory and the effects are pretty fantastic on it for the most part, for that time, especially. Good
for them actually going back and redoing those, because I do appreciate the fact that if it is classified as a horror film and, because it's like when Freddy, right, gets down to killing, the kills are great.
Yeah.
For the most part, but they're very creative. Make the kills great. I think I watched a movie recently. It was one of those new ones. Freaky, right? I watched Freaky, and like the movie itself is great-ish. It's good. It's watchable. It's Vince Vaughn, but the kills are fantastic. Yeah. The kills are fantastic. So what I'm trying to say here is like I appreciate that they went back and fixed that or added to that, because there are some kills in here that are there are 4 deaths that are really like. Because Dan O'Grady, remember I said he has a stroke, but he doesn't die. So he gets committed to like a home, and I guess he's ranting and raving the entire time that he's there. And like Leprechaun then comes back because, they realize what they're dealing with. When I say they, it's Nathan, it's Jennifer Aniston's character. Tori
Redding.
It's Ozzy, and it's Alex. And Tori is there with her dad. She's supposed to be like this high school girl, right?
Yes, she's from LA. She's not Valley girl, but she's very like LA girl, like
Beverly Hills.
She's got a mobile, which she doesn't, or excuse me, cellular
device.
Yes, not a mobile phone, not a cell phone, but she calls it a cellular. I believe that's what it was.
Oh right. I gotta get to my cellular.
Yes. One of my favorite things though is like. I was like trying to take notes on this because I haven't seen it in so long. I'm like, I gotta keep up on this. So the first thing she says is like, God, why are we in New Mexico? And her dad's like, we're in North Dakota.
She's like it matters.
Like it matters. It's not LA.
Yeah. So they set up Jennifer, which like she looks great. I mean, yes, it's younger Jennifer Aniston, but like she looks almost the same today. I mean, it's ridiculous that she's found a fountain of youth. But it's established that she's with her dad for the summer. Yeah. So it's maybe like a joint custody sort of thing. I don't know. She's going to spend the summer with her dad. And her dad is played by, I don't know, but he's Derek Morris. He's Zach Morris's dad. That Derek Morris is not his real name. He's Zach Morris's dad in Saved by the Bell. So, he bought the O'Grady's house. This is 10 years later. Remember what I said about the old falling on numbers thing, 10 years later, right? Of course. And I know this because the leprechaun eventually busts out of the crate and he's like, I'm starved, haven't eaten in 10 years, right? It's like, 10, got it,
thanks.
So she is, she's talking about Beverly Hills. She does not want to stay here. Yes, the house is like dirty, it's dusty,
old.
Yeah, she doesn't want to stay there, right? But lo and behold, there's a crew of painters that they've hired: Nathan, Alex, and Ozzy.
What's the name of the company?
3 guys who paint.
3 guys that paint.
Hey, keep it simple. Pumpkin spice latte.
Hey.
So Nathan, she's done, right? She's about to leave. She saw a huge spider, and it's huge.
It's a
It could kill us.
tarantula. It's a fucking huge tarantula.
Oh my God.
What? What is that?
It's because it's Jennifer. It's because it's her.
She is the one thing I will defend in this film.
Okay.
She's beautiful.
You want to defend Jennifer? I'll defend Jennifer, but I will die for Ozzy.
Okay.
No, don't. Ozzy is awesome.
I'm not doing anything with Ozzy. I love Ozzy. His relationship with Alex reminds me of a very, very popular story that we've all had to read in middle school to high school. There's a play about it, of Mice and Men.
Okay, right. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
he's very, very Lenny, and Alex is very George to me. So
Nathan is the heartthrob, and he's got the cut off sleeves. He's got some very well defined arms. I will give the man that. Mm-hmm. And when Jennifer Aniston, is about to leave, she bumps into him, and her priorities change because hubba hubba out here in North Dakota. I tried to make that rhyme. I don't know if it ended up happening.
No, I don't think so. But
in any case, she's decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to stay because my interest is piqued. Cut 2 on the other side of the house is what I did in the opening, is Ozzy, it's established that the character is a little, he's an adult man, but he's a little slow.
Yeah.
And Ozzy, I guess, is a friend. And Alex is Nathan's brother. So there's an older brother, there's a younger brother, and then there's Ozzy. But Alex and Ozzy, they get along very well. But Alex is almost like the older, sort of more rational character or presence in this friendship between them two. But Ozzy is awesome, dude. First of all, because he's just so genuine. He's so loving. He's so sweet. And because he tells these tall tales all the time, obviously, let's have him be the one that finds the leprechaun.
Of course.
So they don't take him seriously. There's a little bit of a, hey, it's just your imagination. All right, let's go find out what this leprechaun is. But there are so many moments that Ozzy does that I love. They're just, at one point when they find the gold, Alex thinks that they can use the money to go get Ozzy's brain fixed. And he's like, so we can fix your brain. We can make you smart. And Ozzy just dude, I'm sorry, but Ozzy just he's kind of fiddling with his fingers. He looks down. He's like, but I'm smart. I was like, dude, that's just, because he's very functional, but he's just a big kid. That's what it is. That's the way it's being played. He's just a big kid at heart. Yeah. Because when they say we found all this money, he's like, Ozzy, do you know what this means? We're rich. And I could buy comics every week. I love that shit, man. It's fucking beautiful.
Something that they kind of mentioned about Alex or about Ozzy later on is that they can't actually fix his brain. And Alex knows that.
I know.
That's kind of the sweet part of it. I get it. They have a very sweet relationship.
But Alex watches out for Ozzy, but at the same time, it's a give and take. Alex is like, yeah, I know I rag on the dude and I give him a hard time, but I'm still a kid too. So it's we get along and I guess you appreciate that if there's an older, significantly older presence in your life, but keeps their mind young at heart. You kind of are drawn to that because you're like, yeah, it's maybe what I see myself eventually, growing up to be this big kid, young at heart. You hope at least. But besides all that, please watch the movie and know that Ozzy is awesome and there are a lot of sweet moments, but I have to talk about a specific scene. It is perfect because
I can't imagine.
Oh, yes, you can.
No.
Because they are looking. Okay, so we've already established that the leprechaun is around and they know the leprechaun is, and he's like, where's the gold? Give me my gold and I'll leave you guys alone. So they are like, nah, dude, we don't know what you're talking about for the most part. We don't know what you're talking about. Get away from us. They've now armed themselves with shotguns and stuff. And they're in the house and the leprechaun has hidden himself in the cupboards of the kitchen. And I know this because Jennifer Aniston, right? She's like, oh my God, he's in the cupboards. such a funny thing. It's like when you're trying to like you're trying to kill a cockroach or something like that, and it's like, oh shit, it's in the closet.
Yes.
Get the Lysol. I don't know. So they're doing the thing where Tori will throw open the cupboard and Nathan has the shotgun. He's gonna blow his brains out, right?
Yeah.
Open the cupboard that they just saw him in. He's not there. He pops out another cupboard. He's like, I want me gold, right? He closes it. Open it. He's not there. He pops out another cupboard. He's like, you should have picked door number 2, me lad.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Yes, basically that, because he's magical, and now that his gold is around, which gives him his powers, he can be extra magical. There's one more cupboard. One more cupboard's left. It's time to open it and face the music. You can't go anywhere, man.
That's right.
So they open the last cupboard, and he's not there. Where is he? His hand reaches through the drawer and grabs Nathan's nuts. It's the pinch. It's the pinch of the nuts. It's the index finger and the thumb. He pinches it so well. It's just like a, you know? And it's not just the pinch that makes that fucking scene beautiful. It's the noise that Nathan makes after having his nuts pinched. He's like, ah! Oh, good times, man. Good times.
This is what I was texting you while I was watching this film yesterday, and this is where I think the movie starts. If you want to watch this movie, watch it from the cupboard scene on, because it's great. It's not great, but it's good after that. After that point, when he starts screaming, that's my favorite part. It's kind of like Rogue One. Just watch the last 20 minutes. You're good. You don't need to watch the rest.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But yeah, it's that fucking scene, dude. I died.
Because of the pinch.
Yeah. It's the pinch, but like you say, it's the scream that comes with the pinch because you've been there. You know?
And you know what? It takes a special kind of person to say, I'm okay with my sexuality, to just be able to pinch another man's nuts so hard as a way to get him. You know who used to do that all the time and never lost man points? I'm putting that in air quotes, folks. Ric Flair used to do that all the time. Remember, he would grab somebody by the nuts. Right, He's like, you got me, Rick. And everyone was like, yes, pinch the nuts. Right? He gives him a good pinch, and Nathan,
But that's at that point, now it's a comedy. Like, you know, it's supposed to be funny. It's hilarious. But then we go. It's a chase scene after that.
Yeah, it's a chase scene because they figure out that Dan O'Grady is the one who knows how to get rid of the leprechaun. So Tori, Jennifer Aniston, goes to the home while it's being, followed by the leprechaun, obviously, and finds Dan O'Grady, who's being got to by the leprechaun first. So he's on the edge of life, and Dan says, 4-leaf clover, freshly plucked from the clover patch behind the well. You gotta put it on his body. Then you can kill him. Dies. Thank you, Dan O'Grady, for your service to this movie. But very, very important that he said freshly plucked. Because I'm like, 4-leaf clover, go get the one. Go get the one that was on the crate. Nah, that one's already kind of...
No, it's got to be fresh. Yeah, I saw that. It was a very, blatant thing. It's got to be a new one.
Freshly plucked from the clover patch.
And we've already talked about how hard it is to find a 4-leaf clover anywhere. There's always 3. There's always three leaves. So where are you going to find... Where the hell are you going to find a 4-leaf clover?
Well, obviously, Dan O'Grady found one. And you know what? Ozzy, Tori, and Nathan all start hunting for one because Alex is going to stay behind and guard put down a bear trap, remember?
Yeah, that has no teeth.
Oh, gosh. So it still hurt. So hurt. It's fucking a lot. So they're out there and Jennifer's like, we're not gonna find one. And who's the one that's just full of hope? He's like, yeah, you can find one. I found one once when I was a kid. We'll find one, right? And they're looking and they just can't find one. And Ozzy gives her you just gotta believe. And she's had it. Tori's had it. Damn it, Ozzy! The classic Jennifer is speaking through the teeth thing. Yeah. Damn it, Ozzy! I'm so sick of your fantasies and your stupid riddles or whatever. We're not going to find a clover. He's like, you got to believe. And she obviously believes angrily believes, pulls up, finds the 4-leaf clover. Now they can fight the leprechaun. Yeah. Now they got the ammo.
If you notice the way she finds it, it's one handful of just leaves and all this other stuff. And then the 4-leaf clover she brings to her oh, look at this little trick. Oh my God,
Because
there
it's
it
magic.
is.
She felt the magic.
No, the 4-leaf clover is in her left hand. The bunch of leaves that she's been, sifting through is in her right hand. She magically brings it up. It's hilarious if you notice it. It's an editing. That was my complaint about the movie too, is I think it loses a lot of the jump scares and the fun scares through the editing, because there's one in particular I remember. She finds the gold in the
the well.
Thank you, and gives it to the leprechaun. Great, we're done. And he pulls her in and gives her a kiss. And I had to rewatch the scene. Like, did he bite her or scratch her? But the next, literally the next frame is her running 10 feet away, and I have no idea what happened. I had to rewind it to be like, wait, did she get bitten or
He
it was a kiss?
kissed her because he's Irish.
Right.
You get it?
I get it, but I had to rewatch it because
No,
I
you
totally
get it,
did
though?
not get it at first. Some of the editing was just like, oh, you just missed the jump scare, or you just missed what could have been. Oh, fuck, that got me, a pop scare.
Yeah, you can lean into that moment a lot more. Sure.
So I think that was one of my bigger complaints. Is that's why it wasn't scary to me, is because you never got me on any of the jump scares, and that's what you were going for, is jump scares.
I have told you that one of my favorite subgenres of horror is horror comedy. Like, I love it. Yeah. It's quite honestly what I lean to when we're making our own.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this movie, yes, if you look at it as a fun ride to just kind of throw caution to the wind, it has some more horror elements. It is technically classified as a horror movie. You'll have fun with it, and it's one of those, it's like, I don't say it's like an introductory to the horror, because if I introduced horror or slashers with this movie, then you'd be like, I'm good. Or you would go into a horror movie expecting to be laughing and shit, and you wouldn't get that, because there's not a lot of laughing moments in any of the Halloween movies. Like save for a moment here or there with Loomis, I think. With the Jasons, it's the Camp Costner's trying to be funny. In Freddy, it's a laugh riot, but it's still scary, at least the original. With this one, yes. I will go. I am on board with you with that. Yes, the last 20 minutes definitely pick up, because now we have a clover, right? We have a 4-leaf clover. We can fight the leprechaun. You said Jennifer Aniston gives him the pot of gold, but I forgot to mention, when Ozzy and Alex find the gold, Ozzy's trying to see if the gold is real. He's like, I know how to find out it's real. You just bite on it. I seen it in the movie, and swallows it. So the leprechaun, being greedy as hell, is counting his gold that has just been given to him. 98 and 99. And he's missing one. He has 100 gold pieces, and that is, he can't part with not one coin. That's Thor and Oakenshield for somebody specific. I hope they're watching.
Okay.
So yeah, he's like, I need all of my gold back. So he's gonna, kill everybody, and he's gonna have to get to Ozzy's stomach to get that last coin.
Yeah. And poor Ozzy.
Poor Ozzy. And he knows it. Ozzy's like, he wants me. I got the last gold coin in my stomach, right? And they're like, no, Ozzy, we're not going to let you sacrifice himself. Well, there's a point where Leprechaun is about to destroy Alex. Like, he's on Alex. He's about to kill him. And Ozzy, oh man, why am I getting emotional?
Oh my God.
Shut up, dude.
You are not getting emotional again.
Ozzy opens the doors and he's like, no, because he sees Alex, man. That's his buddy.
Yeah.
He's going to save him. And he's like, it's me you want, you little son of a bitch. I have the last gold coin. I swallowed it. It's in my stomach.
Then it's your belly I want.
Right? And he goes, right? Because remember the bear trap? They caught, Leprechaun made Nathan get in the bear trap. This is a funny moment. Leprechaun runs past Nathan because he's struggling with the shotgun, and he just hits him in the ankle. He goes, how's your leg?
Yes. That was hilarious.
Anyway, final moment. Ozzy is getting cut to pieces with the gold buckle on the leprechaun shoes. He's getting cut to pieces, and Alex is going to save him. He gets the 4-leaf clover. He's like, I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you. And I'm going to say the moment. And then you have an actually interesting fact about this, I believe.
Yeah.
So Alex gets Leprechaun's attention, gets a piece of gum, wraps the 4-leaf clover in it, and puts it in a slingshot. And he goes, hey, Lep. And he's like, He says, fuck you, Lucky Charms. Bam! Right down the gullet of the leprechaun, and he swallows the 4-leaf clover. Obviously, that's going to destroy him. They kick him down the well, light him on fire, blow up, end of movie.
Right. The interesting fact about this and that line was I kind of mentioned that what's his name? Mark. I keep forgetting his name. Mark Jones wrote this film, and it was kind of based on not only the comic, which I believe the Leprechaun's name was Dan
O'Grady.
O'Grady.
Okay.
Yes. So there was the mix up there, or the tie-in.
Sure.
But it was also based on the Lucky Charms Leprechaun commercial. So he actually got permission to use Lucky Charms, because there's a scene where the leprechaun is like scarfing down food because he's hungry or whatever it was. That was originally Lucky Charms.
Right.
Instead, it became Lucky Clover.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lucky Charms was like, yeah, sure, you can use our cereal, and that's totally fine. We give you permission. Then they saw the movie, realized, oh, we don't want any part of this, and said, no, you cannot use Lucky Charms in this film. Get it out of there. So the original line was this badass pullback for Alex, and he says, your luck is run out. Action scene moment, you know. And instead, because of them taking Lucky Charms away, it's fuck you, Lucky Charms. So it was literally a fuck you to Lucky Charms.
And let me just say really quick about Lucky Charms is the worst cereal down the cereal aisle. Nobody wants Lucky Charms save for the marshmallows, but it's basically Cheerios with marshmallows. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree.
I will eat Smacks before I eat Lucky Charms.
Ooh, that's hard.
I will eat
Smacks are good.
Special K before I eat Lucky Charms.
Okay.
Give me another one. I will eat a bowl of oats from a tree.
Cookie Crisp.
Okay, first of all, I eat Cookie Crisp over a lot of things. So basically, yes, they, falls down the well. They light the well on fire because, of course, he's still alive, barely. And at the end of the movie, he does a little riddle to, voiceover as it, zooms in down the well. He's still alive because he's magical, and he's going to come after you again, potentially setting up a sequel.
He's terrifying. His fucking face is melting. Like,
pardon?
That was the most terrifying part of the film.
Terrifying? Film at 11. You heard it right here. Lance has said that there is a movie moment in Leprechaun that is terrifying. Thank you.
I give full credit to the team that came up with the effects on this. Again, the Leprechaun was supposed to look very different. Little, like maybe a pulled back face sort of a thing, like a Jack Nicholson Joker sort of smile thing. Yeah. And they, chapped him up and made him look grotesque. It almost looks like he has moss like growing on. He has a little bit of green on his wrinkles.
They really lean into that in the sequels, because I personally like the way he looks in this one more than any of them. He's got like a curly hair sort of thing, and in the sequels they give him long hair. Not for me personally. I like the shorter hair.
You know what's funny is
on him.
What I'm remembering from what you just said is the Leprechaun showed up on MTV a lot.
Yes.
And I totally forgot about this. Has been like a good flashback episode. We're talking about going to the VHS stores and, going through the aisle and picking our movies, looking at posters. And now we're talking about Leprechaun on it. Yeah.
But not only did he pop out on MTV.
It's like Spring Break.
He popped up on, he was referenced. Remember this? I'm the Leprechaun. Remember, I'm putting the flashlight to my face like Wayne in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, yes.
No, wait, I'm the Leprechaun. You see, so
I saw you setting something up over there.
I had to get a flashlight. I didn't want to ask you if you had a flashlight here. I just got my phone and turned on the flashlight. But yes, there is. Yes, there are definitely terrifying moments. But yeah, this dude got big. He got big because not stature wise, he's a little guy, but they got very popular. People know. Remember they were doing like horror deathmatch, and it was like you didn't want to want to pull Chucky up against Chucky versus Hellraiser. And you're like, okay, that's a mismatch. But there was like Chucky versus Leprechaun because they're little guys, right? Let them go at it. I always gave Leprechaun the win, but it was pretty even because Chucky has voodoo, Leprechaun has magic.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Maybe something we get into.
Yeah, down the road coming up. I don't know. We'll see. Danny, how many four-leaf clovers do you give Leprechaun?
I don't want to go deep into what I needed to talk about my ratings, just because I feel like my ratings are kind of getting away from me. But more so, we got to know that these ratings are kind of, they are loose, but we do make sure that they carry a certain criteria, i.e., they got to be kind of scary. They have to be a good movie in the sense of they made us feel good. And, we enjoyed them. So I will say all that to say that although I gave some really, really good movies the rating I'm about to give Leprechaun, in no way do I, as a film watcher, believe that Leprechaun is like up in the pantheon of really great movies. Anyway, for Four-Leaf Clovers, I'm going to give it 4 clovers.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yikes.
man. 4 clovers for the Leprechaun.
Oh man. As far as you kind of mentioned the rating system here. It's kind of almost a joke because we change it every week.
Oh my God.
But as far as like it applies to everyone listening or watching, like it's about watchability. Should you watch it? For me, a strong 3 is always like, you should definitely watch it. It's a part of horror lore. 4 is like definitely watch it. And a 5 is for the showdown at the end of the year that we're going to do.
Absolutely.
For that. So I will give this one a 2. I will give this one a 2. If you can watch it, sure. If you want to drink to something, do that.
Why are you the way you are?
It's not great. Don't skip it.
Honestly, every time
watch it eventually. I don't know.
Honestly, every time I try to have fun in here, you do the things that make me not have that fun.
Well, it's all fun here. Come on, man. Fill your tiki cup with some Irish whiskey or something.
There's a beautiful drink that Caitlin and I made. It was
blended Canadian.
It calls for mint chocolate chip. Ain't no way, no damn mint ice cream that shouldn't exist to begin with.
Oh, it's my favorite.
What is wrong with you? I'm not going to brush my teeth while having dessert.
It's green. Come on.
No, but anyway, it's like that, and it's like Bailey's and something else. We make it. We've made it now for 2 years. We're going to make it again.
It's not blended Canadian.
Blended Canadian.
That's from part 2.
I know. You haven't mentioned it yet. I had to sneak it in
part
there.
2, there's a man drinking by a thing. He's drinking whiskey, and then, of course, Irish whiskey is very much a thing. Leprechaun grabs the whiskey, takes a drink, and he spits it out. He's like,
Blended Canadian. The only whiskey's Irish whiskey.
And blended Canadian is actually my favorite whiskey because it's Crown Royal.
Oh, man. All right. I'm done with this. Leprechaun 2, 4. That's Danny. I'm Lance, reminding you to
lock your doors,
bolt your windows,
and I want me gold.
And join us next time in our Slasher's Paradise. Hey! Thank you everyone for watching Slasher's Paradise tonight. Please go down to the subscribe button right down here and click subscribe, and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you know when we go live next time on YouTube. Danny.
And if you prefer an audio version, look us up on Apple Podcasts, find Slasher's Paradise, listen to us obviously, and leave a 5-star rate and review. If you don't know what to say, go ahead and put in a request of a movie you'd like for us to talk about. We'd love to hear what you think, guys.
Yes, please. And if you would love to see more of our beautiful faces, head to facebook.com/DED Candy Fix. Dead Candy is the producer of Slasher's Paradise, and we will see you there, and we will see you next time. Here's to you guys.
This is Slasher's Paradise. Sorry, I had to work that in.
And I'm going to drink on that.